Assalamu alaikum everyone. So today we are going to talk about the essay written by Eqbal Ahmed. It was published in Dawn on April 1994, 1st April 1994. So first of all we will talk about Eqbal Ahmed. Who was he? He was Pakistani Indian poet. He was a prolific writer and his father was killed by certain people because of the land dispute. His father was a landowner basically, so there are many kind of disputes likely to occur, so that's why he was killed by those people. He completed his higher studies in history. That's why this essay is basically about the history of the South Asians, we can say, and also it is a mixture of the history of Pakistani and Indian, and also there is a touch of some British history. If we look at the crux of the essay, we find it in the first paragraph that there is an ironic relationship between the past and the future. We see there are two kinds of people described by Eqbal Ahmed: those who glorify the past and those who view it comprehensively and critically. And now he describes that those who glorify the past are some hollow people. They just like to appreciate what they have done in their past, and they do not like to learn anything from their past. That's why they are failed as a nation. But on the other hand, if we talk about those people who view their past as comprehensively and creatively, they learn from their earlier civilization which has caused the greatness and also decline. They learn from their history and try to improve. They try to preserve their remains, like they try to save the things which are important to them, and also the important things and images, and also the events of the past, memories which were collected both collectively and individually. If I divert from a language, I will talk about that first paragraph in Urdu, that दो किस्म के लोग होते हैं. एक वो जो अपने पास्ट को ग्लोरीफाई करते हैं, और दूसरे जो कि अपने पास्ट को कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली और क्रिटिकली देखते हैं. और जो फर्स्ट साइड पे है वो क्या करते हैं, जो ग्लोरीफाई करते हैं अपने पास्ट को, वो ये नहीं देखते कि उन्होंने पास्ट में क्या गलतियां की हैं, उसको नहीं देखते. दे जस्ट वांट टू ग्लोरीफाई इट बाय boosting their successfulness and also their achievements. अपनी achievements को boost करते हैं, और उनमें अगर इन्होंने कोई failure अगर की भी है तो उसको accept नहीं करते, उसको निगलेक्ट कर देते हैं. लेकिन अगर हम दूसरी साइड के लोगों की बात करें, दो किस्म के लोग होते हैं. दूसरी साइड की बात करते हैं, वो अपनी हिस्ट्री को देखते हैं, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली देखते हैं कि इसमें क्या कमी थी, उसको हम इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं, और अगर कोई चीज़ हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है तो उसको सेव करके रखते हैं. इवेंट्स हैं और काफ़ी मेमोरीज होती हैं, उसको सेव करके रखते हैं. दैट वाज ऑल इन दिस फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ ऑफ द essay. And now we turn toward the second paragraph, and the main point of that second paragraph is fall down of the nations. And in this paragraph, Eqbal Ahmed talks about that many Hindus and Muslims alike glorify their history. Like he talks about the South Asian, and in South Asia mostly Hindus and Muslims are included. Many of the other countries are also included, but mostly we consider Hindus and Muslims as South Asians. So both Muslims and Hindus glorify their history, but we all know that none of this thing was happened. They just like to mold the history. They just like to mold the things which has happened in the past. And if we study the history of Pakistan, for example, if we study Pak studies, we see that there are many of the things which are against India. But on the other hand, if we study the history of India, we will see that and we will observe that there are many of the things which are against Pakistan. So we don't write neutrally. We try to be pessimistic towards India. So nation can't glorify like this. They try to imagine and mold their past, which they try to turn into the thing which they like. But it has not happened at all. So the only thing which they can do is to convert and divert their writing by using the imagination, by using their imagination. In the third paragraph, we see that there is a discussion of tragic figures of subcontinent, including the first is Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb and the second is Maratha chief Shivaji. So Aurangzeb was considered as the figure of strength and virtues for Muslim rule in India, and on the other part, Maratha chief Shivaji was representative of Indian people, and Aurangzeb was considered as the representative of Muslim. But both of the states were divided on their own. That's why European emperor took control of the subcontinent. In the fourth paragraph, Ahmed talks about his incident, the incident which has happened to him. He tells us that he visited Ayodhya and Mathura. These are the birthplaces of Rama. Rama is a demigod of Indian people. There is also a discussion of some political parties, including BJP, which is known as Bharatiya Janata Party, and VHP, which is Vishwa Hindu Prasad, and Bajrang Bali is also included. There was conflict in these three parties. We can say four parties. There was no unity in them. Local people begin to talk against these parties. They say that their wording is written in Urdu and it is written as इन historians के लिए हिंदुस्तान में कोई आस्थान नहीं है. आस्थान मतलब there is no place for historians. Historians are those who try to preserve information and try to search for the information from the people. That's why they hated those people. In the next paragraph, there is a discussion about the inversion of history, like how the people or the writers of Pakistan, we can say political leaders, it is in their hands to publish the books. So they try to invert the history. Invert mean divert the history. We expect that there would be motivational stories of our leaders, our founding fathers. There would be some incidents through which we can get some inspiration to glorify our nation, but no, there is nothing like that. We just see that how Pakistan came into being, and also we read about the views and personality of its founding father. We don't study, we don't come to know about other things related to the history. We just know how our founding fathers struggled to gain Pakistan. Now the next thing which is very important is that the Islam, and in Islam we study Islamiyat, but it was considered as Diniyat. So the basic concepts were not taught in this subject, are not taught now as well in today's world. The basic concepts are taqwa, piety, spiritualism and mysticism, but we are just taught as penal codes. मतलब हमें तकवा की टीचिंग नहीं दी जाती, रूहानियत की नहीं दी जाती, ना ही तसव्वुफ की दी जाती है. हमें बस ये बताया जाता है कि अगर आप ये गुनाह करोगे तो आपको ये सज़ा मिलेगी. हमें बस डराया जाता है. जस्ट क्राइम एंड पनिशमेंट, यही होती है बात. द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज सिज्म इन इस्लामिक हिस्ट्री. और इसमें क्या आ जाता है? सिज्म का मतलब होता है कि डिफरेंट व्यूज ऑफ सम सेक्ट्स, जिसमें फॉर एग्जांपल सुन्नी शिया भी आ जाते हैं, बट जो इस एसे में जो डिस्कस किए गए हैं वो एक खवारिज मूवमेंट है, एशराई डॉक्ट्रिन है और मुतज़िला. और अब इकबाल अहमद अपने एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में बता रहे हैं. यहाँ पर वो कहते हैं कि व्हेन आई वाज इन एन MA क्लास आई क्यूरीड अ क्वेश्चन. और उसने क्या क्वेश्चन किया है? उसने खवारिज मूवमेंट के बारे में एक क्वेश्चन किया था, बट most of the students were not aware of that movement, so he was quite disappointed, and he knew that from that moment he knew that there is no history of Pakistan, and he also raised a question about Asharite doctrine and also Mutazila. But one of the student was aware of that Mutazila, and he said that कि वो अच्छे लोग नहीं थे, उनकी फिक्र में दारियत के अंसार थे, meaning that they were not good people. There were elements of atheism in their thoughts. In the next paragraph, इकबाल अहमद कहते हैं कि हम सिर्फ बातों को exaggerate करते हैं, उनसे हम सीखते नहीं हैं. हमें ये चाहिए कि अगर हमें अपनी नेशन को प्रमोट करना है या ग्लोरीफाई करना है, तो हमें जो भी बातें सिखाई गई हैं उन पर अमल भी करना है, और आगे भी सिखाना है ताकि हमारी नेशन ग्लोरीफाई हो सके। और इसमें पॉलिटिक्स का भी बहुत ज़्यादा हाथ होता है। पॉलिटिक्स जो है वो फेलियर की सबसे बड़ी वजह होती है, क्योंकि पॉलिटिक्स की ही वजह से हमें हमारी नेशन जो कुछ भी हमारी नेशन सफ़र करती है या जो भी हमारी नेशन ग्लोरीफाई और प्रॉस्पर करती है वो पॉलिटिक्स की ही वजह से होती है, बिकॉज पॉलिटिक्स इज नोन इन मैनी ऑफ द कंट्रीज। और यहाँ पर इन्होंने क्या बात की है, द लेस दे, इकबाल अहमद इज टॉकिंग अबाउट द यंग जनरेशन एंड ही इज सेइंग दैट द लेस दे अंडरस्टैंड द पास्ट द मोर दे आर प्रोन टू ग्लोरीफाई, इमेजिन एंड इन्वेंट। ही इज सेइंग दैट अगर यंग जनरेशन पास्ट को अंडरस्टैंड ही नहीं करेगी तो वो अपनी नेशन को ग्लोरीफाई कैसे करेगी? दे वुड नॉट बी एबल टू इमेजिन एंड इन्वेंट न्यू थिंग्स। तो वो क्या कहते हैं, यंग जनरेशन के कंधों पर एक बोझ होता है और एक फ्रस्ट्रेशन होती है। अगर उनको अपनी हिस्ट्री के बारे में नहीं पता, दे विल बी फ्रस्ट्रेटेड एंड देयर विल बी नो होप टू ग्लोरीफाई द नेशन। That was all in this essay. I hope you like this video. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.